Christmas Eve edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where I may have had a couple of gin and tonics earlier. I hope you can forgive me for that. I'll barter with you for your forgiveness, because today I have a very special puzzle for you by one, well, I think probably the world's favourite Sudoku setter. Ard van de Wetering, the Dutch master, has created a new puzzle called Arrow Thermo 2. I always like the fact that Ard just gets to the point with his titles. They're always very direct, not normally very whimsical, just telling you what to expect. So we've got Arrow Thermo 2. Mark has just tested this actually and sent it over to me, and he says it's really wonderful. Classic Ard, which basically means it will be magnificent. Ard, of course, is responsible for, well, certainly the most popular puzzles that we've ever featured on Cracking the Cryptic. I just checked now, and we have one video in our back catalogue that has been viewed over 9 million times, and that is Ard's puzzle, which we called a Sudoku with only 4 given digits. So it has nearly 250,000 likes, that video, which is just fabulous when you think of that many people watching it. And Ard, of course, Ard celebrated his 80th birthday just a few weeks ago, and we had a special puzzle to celebrate that with him. And I'm sure that he appreciated the really wonderful messages that the community left under that video. So fabulous stuff. And anyway, this is what we're going to do this Christmas Eve. I have my Christmas hat on. Yeah, what have I got to tell you? Well, I'm still catching up on birthdays post my holiday, so maybe we'll just kick straight into those and then we can do some solving. So let me look at my list. I've got to say, this one's late. Happy birthday to Alex from your sister Nicole, down there in Brisbane, a city I have been to actually. I spent a week in Brisbane many years ago. Very good fun. I think I did go into it might have been the first casino I ever went into. Anyway, you both watch. Thank you very much for both watching. Or thank you both very much for watching. And Alex, I hope you had a great birthday. Now, also on the 17th of December, it was Alice's birthday. And I know this, Alice, because your partner Kieran wrote to us and said the excitement grows in your household at the time that Patreon packs are about to be due. Well, actually, that is a good point, because, well, it's still a week away, but we have a very special Patreon reward coming on the 1st of January. Have I got the picture I had yesterday? Yes, I do. Blobs. Blobs is the Hobbit-themed Sudoku hunt. 19 puzzles in all, and you can see from the titles here, following very much the story, which I read again recently. Blobs did the Lord of the Rings Sudoku hunt a few months ago, which was one of the most popular things we've ever published. This one is the follow-up. It is even better, believe it or not. The art of Ted Naismith, one of the world's premier Tolkien authors, also acts as a very beautiful accompaniment to this Sudoku hunt, so that's coming very soon. Alice, I hope you look forward to that, and I hope you had a great birthday, of course. Next, we will say happy birthday to Charlie over there in Bonn. This is today, so I'm actually not late with this one. Charlie, your partner Felix wrote to us and said that you've recently you conduct several choirs as your main job. That's incredible. Several choirs. I would have thought just doing one choir must be quite full time, but anyway, several choirs. And I think the two of you watch solves around bedtime. Charlie, I hope you have a great birthday today, this Christmas Eve. Many, many happy returns. Oh, and actually, I've got another Charlie for the next birthday. Your girlfriend Miriam. I'm not sure if I'm late with this one, though. Oh, no, I'm not late, because this isn't a birthday. I remember this when I was making notes before I started the video. Charlie, your girlfriend Miriam just wanted me to wish you a happy Christmas. I'm very happy to do that. You're over there in Phoenix, Arizona. So Charlie, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a 3 in the corner, a Christmas 3, which Yeah, we could get one in this puzzle, couldn't we? We could get two, I suppose. There is nothing to preclude that based on the given digits. Anyway, next, Isla. Isla is... Am I late with this one? I'm just scanning my notes. Isla, well, I think I am late, because I think your birthday was earlier on in December, if I remember rightly. You turned 19. I know this because your friend Kian wrote to us, and basically said that he wanted to thank you for being the most amazing friend over the last few years. So a lovely message, and Isla, I hope you had a lovely birthday. Next, oh, I am late with this one. Bad, Simon. December the 19th was the birthday of Cara. Your boyfriend Nicholas wrote to us to tell us you were turning 27, and that you're a lawyer and you like tackling hard puzzles. It's a good profession to have if you enjoy hard puzzles. And the two of you watch together after work. So, Cara, I hope you had a great birthday, and I'm sorry I'm late with the message. Now, next one. Oh, this one's today as well. Lily, your partner Morgan wrote to us. Well, you are the best thing that's ever happened to Morgan. I can tell you that, Lily. The email we had was fulsome about you. Loving, patient, caring, and drop-dead gorgeous. Lily, I hope you have a brilliant birthday today. Now I'm late with the next one, which was for William. William, you turned 7 back on December the 17th. I know this because your dad Alex wrote to us, and your sister Alice. I think I said happy birthday to Alice a little while ago. Did Alice turn 10? I might be right about that, I'm not sure. But apparently you were having Black Forest cake, William, for your birthday. I hope it was good, and thank you very much for watching the channel. Oh yeah, and the one that just crept in by, I think I only got the email about this today. Pietra, over there in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. You have turned 16 today. I know this because your dad Fabio wrote to us and said that when you were born, which was obviously on Christmas Eve, he was preparing the Christmas dinner, and that must have made for quite an interesting time. And I've got a picture. Have I got a picture? I think I got the picture. Yeah, here we go. Basically, two very good-looking people, and Pietra, you are passionate about 80s and 90s pop culture, physics and astronomy. That is quite some combination. I don't know whether I will have a chance to record a guitar intro today, but maybe. I've been thinking about one which I think was around the early 90s, so if I get a chance I will. The two of you watch and solve together, and I hope, Pietra, you have an absolutely brilliant birthday today. And then I will thank Joe Wallach for composing a very good Christmas poem, which modesty prevents me from reading out. So, Joe, thank you for sending me that. I did enjoy it. I did read it. It's with Mark at the moment, and well, he might feel more able to read it out. But Joe, I did appreciate it. Thank you very much. And that is all the news. So, let's have a look at a puzzle by Ard van der Wetering, Arrow Thermo 2. The rules are quite short, and you can probably guess what they are if you're familiar with variant Sudoku. Here we go. Normal Sudoku rules apply, which means you've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. It's actually got that in today. It actually says in the instructions. Normally it just says normal Sudoku rules apply. So, whoever's put this in the software has done that for me, which is very kind. Along a thermometer, digits must increase from the bulb end. So, let's have a look at this thermometer here. If that was a 3, then this square has to be more than 3. So, it could be 5. It doesn't have to be 4. You don't have to increase in units of 1. So, it could be 5, 7, 8, 9. That would be a completely legitimate way to fill that thermo. It might not be because of something I've not seen Sudoku-wise, but just purely thermometer-wise, that is legitimate. Digits along an arrow must sum to the digit in that arrow's circle. So we've got a few arrows in the grid. So if this was a 3 and that was a 5, 3 plus 5 equals 8. So you'd write 8 into the circle. And okay, so we can see here there's going to be some interplay between circles being the ends of thermometers. I'm seeing that now for the first time. Anyway, do have a go. Ards puzzles are very special indeed. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, I know what Mark did when he solved this puzzle. All of these thermos look like they're the same length. They all look like they're length 5. So I would imagine that Mark had a great deal of pencilification in the grid. It's definitely a word. Don't need to check. So, I mean, we could do that, couldn't we? No, we can't. I mean, what you could do is you could fill in like this sort of thing. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to show you what you could do. I think some people do. Well, Mark solves like this, but I find it just gets too cluttered. I can't see the wood for the trees, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say that this circle is at least 7. And the reason and the way I've got to that is nothing to do with the thermo, actually. It's to do with the arrow here. These two digits see the digits 1 and 2. So the minimum I could put onto this arrow would be a 3-4 pair. And 3 and 4 add up to 7, so that must be at least 7. Hang on, we've got 3 cell arrows. I hadn't grokked this at all. 3 cell arrows. So the minimum I could put on a 3 cell arrow would be a 1, 2, 3 triple. And 1, 2 and 3 add up to 6, so that's got to be at least a 6, that's got to be at least a 6. The same doesn't apply for these are only 2 cell arrows. And if this was a 6, no, it can't be a 6. Yeah, okay, the way I saw that was not probably conventional, but I've thought of another way I can explain why this isn't a 6, which might be better. The way I saw it was I was thinking, okay, if that's a 6, this is a 1, 2, 3 triple. And then I could sort of feel I didn't have enough low digits left to fill the thermometer, because obviously all these digits, if that's a 6, all these digits have to be lower than 6. And if those are all lower than 6 as well, we haven't got much space. But I think the easier way to see it, the reason this can't be 6 is where would you put 8 and 9 in the column, for example? Because if that's 6, you certainly can't have any digit higher than 6 on the thermo. And on a 3-cell arrow, you can never put a digit that's higher than 6. I mean, let's see why that's the case. If you put 7 in there, what would these digits be? And even if you make those a 1, 2 pair, this arrow would still add up to 10. 7 plus 1 plus 2 is 10. So you can put a 6 on a 3-cell arrow, but you can't put a 7. So, yeah. So in fact, this digit, for that reason, cannot be 6 and cannot be 7 either, can it? Because if it was 7, all of these digits would be 7 or lower, and that would have to simultaneously be 8 and 9 in order to put an 8 and 9 in column 1, and that won't work. So this is 8 or 9. That logic is presumably completely symmetrical with column 9. So now I've got an 8-9 pair in row 5. So one of these is an 8, and whichever one of these is an 8 must have a 1 on its arrow. And the way you can see that is imagine that there was no 1 on an arrow. What's the minimum you could make the digits sum to? Well, that would be 2, 3 and 4, wouldn't it? And 2, 3 and 4 add up to 9. So at least one of these arrows has 1 on it. Definitely. And that's going to mean what? Oh, here's another point then. 9. There is a 9 in one of those squares. That's sort of a weird X-wing. Oh, this is really strange. Yeah, because one of these is an 8. We don't know which one it is, but whichever one is an 8 precludes 8 from being in the massive. So imagine this is an 8. You now can't put 9 in any of those squares, because 9 would obviously be a higher digit than 8, so can't precede it on a thermometer, and you certainly can't put 9 on an arrow that only sums up to 8. So that means that whichever one of these is 8 is going to force a 9 into one of these squares. So that sort of pattern, if we can describe it as such, is an X-wing on the digits 9. And what do I mean by an X-wing? Well, what I mean is that one of these digits obviously is a 9. The one that's an 8 puts a 9 in the corner. So there's either going to be a pair of 9s here or a pair of 9s here. And you can think of those as sort of the slashes of an X. And the important thing to remember about X-wings is that although they apply in the columns, in the sense that we know the 9 is in one of those two squares in column 1 and one of these two squares in column 9, the effect they have is on the rows. Because the fact there is a 9 in one of these obviously precludes there being a 9 in any of those cells in the bottom row. And similarly, and more obviously, I suppose, there's definitely not a 9 in any of these cells. Now, what is that doing? Oh dear, come on, that's definitely doing something. 7 in both of these columns is on the thermometer. So 7 can't be, because of this given 7, and the fact we can't put 7s on arrows, in column 1 and column 9 there is a 7 on a thermometer, which I feel has to be fairly close to the end, obviously. I mean, it can't be there, can it? Yeah, okay, so there's another X-wing, this time on 7s, in those squares, I think. Because given that we've worked out that 7 is on thermometers in columns 1 and 9, and there's only 2 digits higher than 7 in Sudoku, the digits 8 and 9, I could put a 7 here, and then it would go 7, 8, 9, but I can't put a 7 here, because then this would be at least a 10, and that means that in column 1 and column 9, the 7 is confined to the purple cells, and that's another X-wing, in the sense that because there's a 7 in one of those two and one of these two, if this is a 7, that's going to be a 7. And if this is a 7, that's going to be a 7. And that means, this is really strange, but that means, oh, nearly. Well, here is a thought. Doesn't that cause an 8 X-wing? This is brilliant art. It's really strange, actually, this puzzle. It's very unusual logic, but let me explain. So, because the 7s are disposed in the purples, let's say this was a 7 in the final grid. This thermometer will then go 7, 8, 9, and there will be an 8 here. Whereas if this was a 7, there will be an 8 here. So there is an 8 in the finished puzzle in either this cell or this cell. And combine that with row 5, look. Oh, that's a bad choice of colour. Let's pick something different. Maybe just straight old blue. So there is an 8 X-wing as well, which means 8 can't go in any of these squares. Now, the important thing about this is I have not got a clue. Oh dear, I'm sorry. Okay. Oh dear, I don't know what to do with that. There's definitely something going on with... It's something to do with 7s, 8s and 9s in, I think... Well, I think it's the effect of that 7s, 8s and 9s are limited in column 1 and column 9. But but I'm not quite seeing what that means. Nearly. Where's that digit in column 3? And yeah, it doesn't quite work the same way for this one because there's not a blocker here. This digit, oh, hang on, what's going on here? What? Yeah, okay, maybe column 3 is where we're meant to look. It's something to do with where are 8 and 9 in this column, I think. I'm seeing that if this is 8, that's 9. And I'm struggling to see then where I'm putting 8 and 9 in this column. Yeah, there's nowhere. There's nowhere. That's definitely not 8, but I think there's a more beautiful way of seeing it. Let me just think about this for a second. I mean, the maximum size of that digit is C, 7, 8 and 9. That is a maximum of 6. And yeah, I think it might be as simple as saying 5. Yeah, let's ask that question. Where are 8 and 9 in column 3? That's probably the easiest way to ask it. Or even, yeah, where's 9? Let's start with 9. Where's 9 in column 3? Now 9 can be at the tip of a thermo, and 9 can be here. So 9 is in 9, which is our green digit, isn't it? Is in one of these two cells. That seems to have to be true. Now where is 8 in column 3? Now this may be a worse question. I'm just thinking about it. Obviously, I don't think we know the answer, actually. We don't know the answer, because it could be here, and then this would be 9. Or it could be in either of those two squares, in which case, again, this would be 9. Or it could be here itself, so it's actually got 4 places. So maybe I'll forgive myself for finding that a little bit strange. But there is a corollary of this, which is that this square, what is the value of this square? And if it's green, it's 9. But if it's not green, then it is 8, which is strange. So yeah, because let's imagine this square for some reason is not the digit 9. Then we know 9 in the column has to go here. And now we have the problem of where 8 goes in this column. If 8 is on the thermo, it must now be in the tip of the thermo, and 8 cannot be on the arrow anymore because this can't be 9. It's strange. So that is 8 or 9. And that by hook or by crook gets us back to the first thing I saw, which is that there is a problem with this being 8 now. In fact, I mean, you can just see it can't be, because this is an 8-9 pair in box 4, so that cannot be 8. And if that can't be 8, our blue X-wing is now unwound in that must be that limb of the X that is working. And that is beautiful, because now that makes this 9, although that makes this 9. And now this has interrupted our 7 X-wing, putting this 8 in here, so the 7 X-wing goes that way round. This is stunning. It's really weird, but beautiful. Oh no, no. Yeah, okay, so now we can unwind our green. We know the 9 in this column is forced down by the fact that this became the 8. We know there must be a 1 on a 3-cell 8 arrow. and I feel there's some sort of interaction. If I can't, whatever I put up here, well, 6, okay, let's do this slowly. Where's 6 in column 1? 6 cannot go on an 8 arrow, because if we accompany 6 with the minimum 2 other digits, that would add up to 9. 6 plus 1 plus 2 is 9. So 6 must be on this thermometer, where it must sit directly behind its friend the 7. Now, it's not true to say that that's the same thing for 5, is it? Because 5 could be on the 8 arrow, but what we do know is that these 2 digits add up to 7. Because we know that the digits that are not 1 on the 8 arrow add up to 7. They're either going to be a 3-4 pair or a 2-5 pair. So we can limit this. This is either 2-5 or 3-4 because of the thermometer. And if you're saying that's about as useful as a chocolate teapot, then unfortunately I'm going to have to agree with you about that. Oh dear, right, come on, what does all this mean then? So 9 is in one of those squares. 8 is in one of these squares. This 9 on the tip of a thermo makes me, well, Actually, maybe we do have to pencil mark this. Because obviously this digit now is a maximum of 6. Because it can't be 7 or 8. And that is putting a tiny bit of pressure on this bulb, isn't it? If we go 6, 5, 4, 3... Oh, it's not really very much pressure. Go on. Go on, we'll do it. Can we see anything that results from that? Is it to do with this? 2. Where's 2 in column 3? We can't put 2 on the arrow because it would have to accompany 7 to add up to 9. So 2 is definitely... Well, that is useful. That's really useful. Actually, I'm quite proud of that. I know it's a very simple deduction, but it's really worked. Because now, in this column, because 2 is in box 1, we get a Christmas tree. We get a Christmas tree, definitely. Here we go. Oh, Christmas tree, how lovely are your corners. Ard, you do the business every time. So 3, 4, this must be 1, 2, 5 now. This now, okay, so there's no 3 on here. So, what does that mean? Does that help us? The 4 helps us. That's got to be 2, that's got to be 1. That's no longer 2. That doesn't put any pressure on the tip of the thermo, I don't think. But, okay, so how are we making this add up to 9 now? Oh, yeah, where's 8? No, that's a much better... Has that been available for ages? Oh, I just didn't think about that, sorry. It may have been that I could place 8 in this column for ages, and I just didn't think about it. But 8 can't go on this because of the 1 here. So now these add up to 9, and they're either 3, 6 or 4, 5, and these add up to 9. Yeah, that is mildly interesting, isn't it? Because this is either 3, 6 or 4, 5. This is either 3, 6 or 4, 5, and so we can't put 5 in the lower position. Because this would be forced to be 6, and there would be no way to make this 9 add up. So this is 3 or 4 going up to a 5 or a 6, but we don't know the order down here. This is a really clever puzzle, actually. It's classic art because, I mean, it's not like we haven't done thermo and arrow puzzles before. We've done loads of them. But what Ard does is he puts his own little twist on them, on these things, and it really is, it's brilliant that you can find new logic from such simple, seemingly simple patterns. Right, so What now then? Is it going to be... We can put 6 on this arrow if it was 1, 2, 6. And then we'd have 3, 4, 5 to place in the column. So that would be 4, 5. I would get my other 3 in the corner then. Which would be a nice thing to get, wouldn't it? 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 7, 9. I'm trying to see what it is that I've got to see now, and I'm failing miserably. We want to probably... Maybe it's the fact that can't start with a 1. I mean, that does get rid of one of those early... Ah, yeah, that can't be 9 as well. Or, yeah, hang on. I haven't thought about this column 7 shenanigans at all. But there might be something going on. Yeah, where's... Oh, of course there is. Where's 9 in column 7? That is a very simple question. It can never be on an arrow, because we can't make the arrow add up to 10. It can't be here. And it can't go on a thermo, so it just goes at the top of the grid. I probably just need to chase 9s around, actually. Let's just see if we can do that. And fill some of them in. Actually, I'm not sure I can now. No, okay, maybe I can't. Okay, but where is 8 in this column then? Doesn't this have to be 8? I can't put 8 on the arrow, or that would need to be 9. Clearly 8 is a very deep thermometer number, and it certainly can't go up here, so I think that's got to be 8. And then, presumably, we just say, where is 7 in this column? 7 can't be on the arrow, so 7 is on the thermo, where it must be the largest digit, and that's just a 7 out of absolutely nowhere. And that's... Oh, nearly. I thought I was going to get the 7 in box 5, but I don't. But I do get a 9-7 pair in box 9. I get an 8 in one of these squares. Oh, this is lovely. Right, this is lovely. Where's 1 in this column? Because 1 can't go in the bulb of the thermo, it can't be anywhere else on the thermo, so 1 shifts its attention down to the arrow down here, which means it must accompany a 6 to add up to 7, and now I get all of these digits for free because it's a thermo, so it's just all the other digits just right in. This is 3, that's 6, we said these had to add up to 9, so these must be a 4-5 pair. The 5 on the 8 arrow goes here, this is a 1-2 pair. 1, where's 1 in the bottom row? This 1-6 pair takes care of those squares. The 1-2 pair takes care of these. The 1 here takes care of that. So 1 goes here. 1 goes in one of 2 places there. We can probably do a lot with these hard 1, or this hard 1 thermometer. Oh, wait oh no, nearly. Nearly. Okay, actually I'm not sure this works, but I can say, I think this has to be 2, 3, 4, this 9 arrow. That might be wrong, but the way I've got to that is using a bit of Sudoku. 2 in box 9 I think has to be on the arrow. And this can't be 1, 2, 6, because if it was 1, 2, 6, what would these 2 digits be? They would be from 1, 2 and 6, and I'd have 4 digits in box 9, or 4 cells in box 9 selected from only 3 different digits, and that will certainly break Sudoku because it will necessarily involve a repeated digit in box 9. So I think this is 2, 3, 4. And that's not 2. So probably column 9 then. Where we've got 1, 5 and 6. Oh yeah, look. This can't be 1 or 6. So the 6 and the 1 go up the grid and are determined by the thermo. There's a 6 in one of these squares. Whoops. That's a 5. So this is 2, this is 3 or 4. It's basically this digit and where this digit goes in this box. So that's 3 or 4. What about in the bottom row? We need 3, 4 and 6, I think. So that's 3 or 6. That's 3, 4 or 6, adding up to 7, 8 or 9. But hang on, what's that digit? And the answer is I don't know. I actually don't know. But the fact it can't be 1, 2 or 3 is really putting pressure on the thermo. Because it's a 5-cell thermo, it can't be bigger than 5. So it's 4 or 5, 5 or 6, 6 or 7, 7 or 8. That is 8 or 9 in this position. And look, 7 takes care of it. So it's an 8-9 pair. Now, can we do any more? 6, yeah, we can get... That 6 there means this is 7. So 9, I know what we have to add to 2 to get to 9. That is 7. So that's 7 and 9 get resolved. I feel like I've written 7 into the grid a lot. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I don't know that I can resolve the 7s at the top of the grid, so maybe I do have to wait for that luxury. Right, and this digit is either 3, 6 or 5 to partner this 3, 4, 6 thingy here, and that doesn't seem to be resolved yet. Maybe row 5? 2, 3 and 4? That's 2 or 4. That's 3 or 4. And that's 2 or 3, and I get chocolate teapotted. Oh no. Okay, that wasn't where we were meant to look. I've done all my thermo. Oh no, I haven't quite done this thermo. There's probably... It's almost certainly Sudoku that we have to do now, I'm afraid. Right, let's do it. So 1, 2 and 4 into these squares. And that's not 4. And then these are 3, 6 and 8, are they? 3, 6, 8. It's also, I don't think it's resolved. I have a horrible feeling it is, and I'm just, oh, it's a 4 here. So that digit. Why did I think this can't? I know that can't be 2, because the 2 in box 9 is definitely in these squares. Okay, that's 3. So that's 2. That unwinds my chocolate teapot. Good. Now, does it do more than that? Nearly. It puts 4 into one of those 2 cells. 2 in box 5 is in one of 2 places. And these 2 squares are a 1, 6 pair, which apparently is not resolved. But that 3 was the same as this digit. I remember we looked at that. So that's a 6 now by Sudoku. This is not a 6, so that's not a 3. That is a 4 by Sudoku, so that should be 5 by mathematics. 5 and 4. 4 and 2. 2 and 1. 1 and 6. This is going a bit now. Okay, what do I need to put into box 8? 3 and 8, definitely. 3, 6 and 8. That's a naked single then. That sees 6, it sees 8. So these should be a 6, 8 pair. Looks good from a Sudoku perspective. How is this column not resolved yet? I don't know. 2, 4, 5, 6. Oh, this is a naked single. Look at that. If we look at this digit, I think it's 2, 4, 5 or 6, and the row tells us it's 5, and that's going to be absolutely mighty. 6, 4, 2 goes here. That 6 causes the 6 and the 1 to unwind, the 1 and the 2 and the 4. Good grief. Okay, so this becomes an 8, 9 pair. Oh no, that's not an 8, 9 pair. It's a something pair. 5, 9 pair. Oh, which is resolved. Okay, so that's 5. That's 9. That's 9 by Sudoku. So that's 9. That's 5. That's 7. That's 7. That's 6. That's 6. That's 8. Okay. Okay, I'm confident. Unless I've made a mistake, I think we're going to get there, aren't we? This is 5 and 8, which we can do. So that should be 8. And that might be a 3. Let's just have a quick pause and think about it. Does it look right? Probably. Let's see. Yes. Solve counter 1. Absolutely brilliant. That is a wonderful, wonderful puzzle. It's classic art. I mean, there's nothing more to say. And what a lovely, lovely Christmas present for all of us to do a Sudoku of that. It's just sublime quality. I think anybody, even if you're new to Sudoku and you have never seen variant Sudoku before, you could start to whittle away at that and start to see some of the relationships between the numbers in the way the sort of ladders work down the thermos and the pressure it puts on the arrows. Yeah, it's just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'll take a bow and let me know in the comments how you got on. Happy Christmas to you all. We will be back, or we're certainly intending to be back, with 2 editions tomorrow, of course, on Christmas Day. And yeah. Well, we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.